Okay, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh Juice, an indie game podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tommy Fresh. Joined as always, it is
Matty Juice, aka the Duelist. How are you?
Ooh.
Welcome to the show, folks. This is a special episode because we get to talk about all the fun stuff we did over the weekend. What did we do, Tom?
We went to PAX East. Oh my! Up in Boston, Massachusetts. It was a ripping, roaring time. We're going to be talking about basically how that went and some games we liked there, and you know, stuff that we think maybe you guys should check out. And yeah, it was a packed weekend. You know, this is the Monday after we got back. I am beat. I was a little hungover on Sunday, a little bit hungover, but today I had to do like a lot of yard work, so it was right back into the real world, and I am feeling it. But I'm excited to talk this week. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of games that were very interesting, I think, this year. It was a more interesting year, I think, rather than like one that in the past where it's kind of predictable, like the things that you'll find.
Yeah.
I felt like there were a lot of curveballs that we were messing around with. But what's going on? What, you know,
I don't know if we
new?
need to catch up. Yeah.
we don't really need to catch up. I mean, yeah, we are a youth of a nation, but
Yes, we are.
We've been together since Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. So, is there anything you did that I didn't know about?
I don't think so. Not that I'm willing to divulge anyway, but you know, because me and Dan, our cousin Dan, we're sharing a bed, and things got a little wild. But
Yeah.
but you know, it was a good weekend. We're gonna kind of get into that after we do a juicy take, of course, and then talk about some notable releases that you know, we didn't see at PAX, that they're just coming out this week in the real world outside of conventions. But you know, it was a good weekend, and I'm excited to talk about it. You know, after we get through that. But I do want to say one thing. Actually, there is one thing that I did that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
Is I went on to discord.com and went to the Fresh Juice Discord,
Wow.
which is free for everybody to join. And you saw that one coming from a mile away.
I did.
Yeah. Go check that out. It's in the show notes below. But it's time for a juicy take. And if you don't know what a juicy take is, it's basically a hot take. And we each we'll trade off when we give them. This is my week to give a juicy take. Are you ready?
I am ready.
My juicy take for this week is 2026 will be the year that indies will outnumber AAA games at Game of the Year, Game Awards nominations.
Okay. Do you know what it has been in the past? Like, if you had to guess, like percentage wise.
I mean, how many games are typically nominated? 5 or more?
5 or 6. Yeah. 5 or 6, I'd say. So I know this past year it was the most indies that were nominated, but it wasn't the majority. I don't believe.
Wasn't the majority.
I think it was 3 indies, right? It was Hades 2, Silk Song, Expedition 33.
Expedition 33.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Metaphor Fantasio, Final Fantasy 7 am I thinking of the same year? Maybe it was last year, actually.
Well, let's see. We had so the non-indies last year were Death Stranding 2 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. And then the
so last year it was
Hades 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
God, fuck. No, I got to change my hot take then.
Obscure. Okay. All right. It's okay.
This is the year that it's
AAA
all
games.
indies. It's all no. It, like there's not a single AAA game nominated for Game of the Year.
Ooh, and if you had to, maybe not go through all the nominations, but are there any that are top of your mind that you're like that should be nominated that we've
For
played?
indies,
Yeah, or that
um,
you've played?
assuming Slay the Spire 2 hits 1.0, probably on a similar kind of timeline as Hades 2,
Mm-hmm.
where, I think Hades 2 kind of came out in early access like early that year, maybe just before the end of that year. And then in the fall had the full release. If Slay the Spire 2 does that, I imagine Slay the Spire 2 gets nominated.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, it's still kind of early, right? I would have, I mean, like, you got to think around this time last year, it was really just like in terms of indies, like Blueprints was kind of in the conversation, and then Expedition 33 came out around that same time. So like, I think we're probably going to get a few more. Well, obviously, we're going to get a lot more because
Yeah.
it's going to be only indie games for Game of the Year.
Hey, we're only 3 months into the year, so we've already had Slay the Spire 2, which I don't know if any. I guess an early access game has never been nominated for Game of the
I
Year,
don't.
but I'm pretty sure it's been nominated for other categories. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe there might be an early access category. I don't know. I don't remember, but interesting. I would love to see that. I think that would make headlines regardless of what won, right? And I do think that if that did happen as well, some of those headlines would be, people diving deep into these games to be like, is this really indie? Like the Dave the Diver
Mm-hmm.
situation, or even Expedition 33. Some people, say that that's not indie because they had a team that worked on huge projects and they came together, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I would love to see that. And it would be very interesting if like best indie game was the same as game of the year, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, last year it was kind of, I guess, like an indicator that can be possible, right? When a majority are indie games that were nominated. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
I think
yeah,
okay, just looking at some like top wish listed games in my kind of algorithm on Steam. Subnautica 2,
yeah, if they can
that
pull
could
it
be
off. Yeah.
they could pull it off. Witchbrook, I know there's a lot of hype around that game,
Yeah.
right? Um and Mouse PI for Hire. Is that indie?
Yeah.
I think it's indie.
Yeah, I believe that's indie. Yep.
And then that's probably it. I mean, Gambonanza, listen, that game's good. I
Yeah.
mean, Balatro was nominated.
I think also if Vampire Crawlers could be in there, perhaps,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's releasing in early access, but that could be one. And then obviously if we could see like Deep Rock Galactic, like the new Rogue Core game in there, that's just already has like a good following.
Oh,
Um,
Black Jacket, if that comes out.
ooh, yeah, Black Jacket, yeah. Um, and there's also I know like I don't know if you are you familiar with Co Carnage, the
Can't say
streamer
that I am.
Co. He's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
early days of
Ember.
Twitch. He's
Yeah.
like a creative director on an indie game that's supposed to be coming out later this year called Emberville. That's got like a
Yeah.
lot of hype around it. So I don't know if it's going to be game of the year kind of hype, but that game will likely have a cult following.
What
Um,
are your thoughts on Co Carnage?
I like Ko. He's not always I'm not always into so like the way he plays games, it depends on what he's playing. Like I like him in general. Like I would really watch him do anything if I, needed something up. But he's like the guy who when you're playing Fallout, he's like reading all the lore text and stuff like that.
Mm,
And like I'm just, like I'm glad that he does that because there are people that enjoy those really thorough playthroughs. So it really depends on what he's playing. Like I watched him play Arc Raiders. I've watched him play mostly, I'd say, like multiplayer kind of games with occasional single player. But I like him. I really like he's kind of the first one that I know of. Like I think he was the pioneer behind like Twitch bots, if that makes sense. Like, you know, he's got like a co-bot in his chat that does a bunch of
Mm.
things. He's also, I think, one of the first, if not the first, to like, he has a subscription to him, to his content on his own website, and he's got his own community. Like, he's kind of the first one I ever saw that like built his community outside of streaming, and gives perks and all these things if you support him on his website and all that. So I think he's like a pioneer in the streaming space, I would say, from my perspective. So yeah, I like Ko, but I'm not watching him all the time, but I'm finding that I am watching more people that are streaming like a lot because I don't know when I'll have
Hmm.
time to watch a stream. So it's like, oh,
True.
like Burnt Peanut is like streaming, you know, from like
All the
11
time.
hours a day from like
Yeah.
8 to like the morning. So I'm like, that's when the baby's asleep or whatever. And if I'm playing a game or whatever, I'll just put him up. So it just depends. But Ko streams a lot in the mornings, I think. So anyway, yeah. What about have you watched him or are you not?
So
You
I
know,
don't really watch a lot of streams, I would say. I'll
yeah,
watch more like VODs and stuff like that. And I get clips on Twitch or not Twitch, TikTok all the time
yeah,
of streamers. And I don't know if it's just me or the clips I see of Co Carnage. I every single time, like especially around this Emberville game, right?
yeah,
Like I feel like he's always kind of framing it like, check out this like really cool game, but like he's like really involved in the game,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like it's like no, actually this is like really cool, which I'm sure it is. It's just kind of funny because it's like he's like talking about like look at this game that's coming out that I discovered or something like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and it's just like, well, I mean you're very involved with this game. I think you're even a
yeah.
voice in this game. So
Yeah, he does like some stuff, like specifically with Emberville, where it's like he'll be like, "Oh, we added this awesome feature," and then like he's going into it. It's like something that other games have too, you know. But he's just so excited because like it's a technical achievement for them, you know.
yeah,
But I'm like, but from my perspective, I'm like, okay, you can change your backpack color or something like, oh, cool.
yeah,
But yes, I have seen that. That's why I'm like, it's hard for me to judge Emberville because most of what I've heard about it has been through him. So I'm
hmm,
really eager to see like what people think of it because from the gameplay, it looks like a game that I like could get into, right? But you know, we'll see. But I did look up like what would the best indies of 2026 be? Obviously, Slay the Spire 2's in there, Witchbrook is in there.
hmm.
Um, there's also a game called Well Dweller, which I feel like I've seen before. It's like a dark Metroidvania that looks really cool. Um, and then there's another one called Escape from Ever After, which is
Hmm.
a storybook themed RPG that apparently has a lot of hype around it. It came out in January, actually. It's overwhelmingly positive. So there you go. We did not play it, but it kind of looks like Paper Mario, essentially. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, like a modern Paper Mario. So anyway,
So it could
yeah,
happen.
it could definitely happen. There's plenty of things out there. And I also like, you know, obviously the indie space, there's definitely going to be a game this year that we just blindsides us, right? And we're like,
Hmm.
we never heard of it and it's amazing, right? So, you know, we'll see what happens with that.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah, I mean that's just I'm calling my shot now, so should be interesting. Now, notable releases this week. I think this game we're probably gonna review. It's Raccoin Coin Pusher, which I played a little bit of the playtest. I'll be honest with you, I was not much of a fan of the playtest, but still want to hop in, give it its fair shake in full. I don't know if it's full release or early access, but
Full looks like,
full
yeah,
release.
tomorrow.
And yeah, very soon. And yeah, it does look neat. I will say that, but I mean, it's possible that the playtest was just a little too janky at the time. But
Yeah.
what do you think?
Um, yeah, you know, we'll see. You know, obviously, I think it's got potential, and I'll be honest, like these coin pusher games were never ones that like caught my eye really. Like I'd play maybe a little bit of it, but I was never like super invested in them. But like, when it comes to other roguelites, like I like chess, I like
Hmm.
poker, like so I don't know how uh interested I'll be in like progressing in this game, but it could be a fun one. I don't think I played the demo. But it definitely seems like it has a good amount of marketing around it, though, because I've seen it in a few different places being talked about, not
Hmm.
just from Capolo. And
Yeah.
but yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it definitely looks like it has a lot of love put into it. But
And it's published by PlayStack, who put out Balatro, if I
yeah,
remember correctly.
yeah.
So,
And I'm sure, there probably, I would imagine there would be a Balatro Raccoin bundle, right?
yeah.
So that's also good. The price should be pretty solid. So yeah, we'll see. But definitely, I would say probably the top one releasing this week out of the ones we have listed. I'd say
Um,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you spent some time with this other game, Curse Words,
Yeah.
um, that you had a lot of good things to say. This comes out in a day or two, but we have talked about this one before, but it is coming out. It's Boggle meets roguelike,
Yeah.
big number go up. So two of them, which is nice to see. I think that this one, from what you said, is has a lot of potential.
Yeah, and something interesting about this game is, did you notice something with the little image they have right here of what they're highlighting there?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
little Joker card
yep.
is front
Hmm.
and center. And plus a little chest one right behind it. They definitely know what they're doing. But yeah, this one was one of those games that definitely surprised me at how polished and how much fun it was. It is one I think I would probably play more on mobile, because it
Hmm.
just kind of seems like, do a quick few levels here and there, rather than sit down. Like there was just a point where I was like, all right, I'm done kind of playing it, but it was fun. Uh, we'll kind of see how this one does after it launches, but yeah, this one is another good one, and yet another kind of classic-ish game turned into a roguelike. If only we posted that prediction somewhere other than just in the podcast, because I have no idea what episode we talked about it on. But if only we
Yeah.
were people would be like, these guys know what they're talking about. It's okay if they don't like stories and games, they know what they're talking about. But
Yeah, so true, so
yeah,
true.
it's definitely a trend. And yeah, this is a fun one. I already own it technically, so I'll be playing it on April 2nd when it comes out, to see if they made any changes. And I'm excited to hop back in.
Sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
And John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which I don't know if this is really an indie game, but it was on my wish list and I did see it come out. I'm a big John Carpenter fan. Um, it's supposedly pretty fun from what I've seen so far. Not a lot of content, I think I heard as well, but it's still just like a fun time. So for people that kind of like these cooperative like zombie games, I think this one seems like it would be like a good time, and I think anything with John Carpenter's name on it is probably worth checking out. So
Yeah.
just wanted to give this one a quick shout out.
Yeah, with these kind of games, obviously it's got John Carpenter's name on it, like you said, but I'm always surprised that I'm like, man, another co-op zombie shooter game. Like, there's so many of them, and they're
Yeah.
all like, this is different than Left 4 Dead, and Call of Duty Zombies is different, and there's games that kind of are similar to those kind of pillar ones. But this one, I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, this just looks like me and the boys are just like, tonight, let's just play some like, just kind of sit back and little kind of like popcorn game almost,
Hmm.
in a
Yeah.
way. So yeah, it's got very positive reviews, which is great to see, but I'm always just surprised. I'm like, wow, like this is still a genre people like to play, apparently, when when more and more zombie shooter games are kind of coming out. I guess you could say that about a lot of genres, but
Yeah.
it's just like how innovative can you get with like hordes of zombies coming at you and you have guns, right? But obviously the name tied to it helps, and it does look fun. So I'm one of the people that's like, I guess, blind to the fact that these come out pretty often.
Yeah.
Plus, I think Saber Interactive, they've made like Snow Runner, which I know is a popular game. Space Marine. They've had some like they World War Z, which is another zombie shooter that I've played. Which that one is fun too. So yeah, I guess they seem to be kind of in like a Ghostbusters, the video game. So they're pretty well known, I'd say. I actually applied to a job a long time ago to Saber Interactive that I was completely unqualified for, and
And you got it?
I got it. I'm working there to this day. I am the creative director for John
Oh my
Carpenter's Toxic
God.
Commando. I'm
What?
revealing it today, Tom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
This is actually one I was surprised wasn't at PAX. I didn't see it at PAX.
Yeah, it would have been a good
Yeah.
form for it, but
Yeah.
it's PAX has like changed so much. We'll talk about that in a bit here. And then the last notable release this week is a game. Actually, I picked it up because I liked the demo so much. It's Bloodletter. This is like a kind of a deck builder, roguelike, interesting twist where you're trying to heal your villagers and prevent them from kind of losing their mind from like some evil nonsense that's going on. Really cool, like not calligraphy. Is it calligraphy?
What,
I
the
don't know.
art style?
Yeah. Basically, this art style that's all like medieval, like almost like the Monty Python cutscenes and and basically all of them, and it's really neat. So I just picked it up when it came out. I think I got the email yesterday when we were in the car, so I just grabbed it. But I downloaded it right before we started doing this podcast, and I'll probably play a little bit of it tonight. So check this one out.
Yeah, I love the art style here as well. And great name as well. But yeah, let me know how it is. Let me know how it is, because it seems like a cool concept.
Yeah. And there was like a bundle with something that I think I already owned.
Menace
Oh, actually, you know what? I did own Menace of the. Actually,
Pluto.
what I did was I bought Pluto and Bloodletter together.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? Both of those were on my wish list, so you know why not? So let's talk about PAX.
PAX East.
It was Thursday, March 26th. And you picked me up along with, I don't know, like how far back should we go? You picked me up.
I woke up.
I woke up.
Teeth rushed.
You got your teeth.
I got my teeth. No one says it that way, but yes. Yeah, picked you up. Yep. You and the cousins.
Yep. And we drove up. We stopped at Colony Grill and got some pizza. I ran into somebody I knew there who bought us some beers. That was very cool.
Yeah.
And then we get up to Boston and we go grab some food real quick and we hang. We play some video games, some board games, Magical Athlete. We play Hot Streak. These are two great board games for people out there. And then, then we go to the convention on Friday. And it was a good year, I think, for PAX. I think like a lot of cool stuff. It's definitely leaning more and more indie, which is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to talk about what specifically you checked out and you think everybody should check out?
Yeah, sure. So, one game, I'm not gonna go in like order I kind of played them. There's even some games I probably will recommend that I didn't get a chance to play. But first off is this game Dreadmore. So this is essentially, if you played Dredge, people call this a kind of first person dredge kind of successor ish sort of to it. So it's a dark first person fishing adventure game set in a submerged world. So you're essentially doing the things that you do in Dredge. You're following a story. You are getting new fishing rods, getting new types of bait, going out fishing, weird things, but everything, as you can see if you're watching in the trailer, everything is like severely mutated. You're in this kind of swampy, polluted sort of like area where things are not. You're not going to expect everything that you're pulling up there. So I played a little bit of it. I had about 15 minutes to play because they had you on like a timer, and I played a little bit of the story. I will say like the dialogue is funny, and there is something here with the story. It was a little hard for me to hear everything, but they had the subtitles on, and the fishing gameplay is simple enough, but also interesting enough. But I think like the thing that I really just loved in this game was like just the exploration. Like for example, when it's showing in the trailer here, but there's this guy on the left. This is like an area you go to talk to the NPCs. It's kind of this big like crab that's walking around, and it has to lower itself in order for you to go in there. Well, when you first kind of see it, you enter the area and like there's another big thing there, and then all of a sudden you just see like the crab, like you didn't know it was alive, and it just like kills this giant thing in front of you, and then it lowers itself, and it's kind of just a cool intro to, oh, this whole world is alive. So Dreadmore is cool. I recommend it. There's no demo on Steam, but it's supposed to be out in Q4 this year. Hopefully it's something maybe we could check out. We'll see. But it has an overall really cool vibe to it. Did you want to go like back and forth, or you want me to just keep going with games?
Yeah, we can go back and forth. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, works. Dreadmore does look cool. I had seen some like promotional stuff or like, creators talking about this game and saying like whenever this got announced, because obviously this looks just so cool. And like for fans of Dredge, it kind of seems like a no-brainer. Yeah. One of the first games I played was Mechtech. We actually played this one together.
Yeah.
It's like a MOBA meets like Clash Royale with like PvP elements, which was like really neat. Like one person on your team is controlling like the Clash Royale side of things. Like you're kind of placing units, and then the other person is kind of going and doing the MOBA thing and running around and fighting the enemies and the other NPCs that are being placed.
Yeah.
It was a really fun experience. I mean, I have experience with both of those genres, and it felt kind of refreshing to play both of them together. And the kind of like Advance Wars art style was really neat as well. So I think this one went right onto my wish list, because I think this one's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one too. I'm not like a big MOBA guy, so it's definitely like very light on the MOBA.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, oh God, what is okay? They're just showing random people playing it in the trailer. But yeah, I enjoyed it too. We did the co-op, but you can go against each other, and it gave me like Plunder Panic kind of vibes. Like I could see like a group, going against each other, and then obviously you have minions and things like that. So it's not just you. One thing I really liked about this game that I thought was a really smart design choice is because each side has a mech or a tank that you're calling out those enemies or your minions from. But the tank, being in the tank, and there's only one person that can be in there, is the only way to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really great because the person who's running around doesn't want to die, and then they also get a chance in the tank, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like in a game like Plunder Panic, right? Like the captain is always being the captain and has to play a certain way, or play differently than the teammates usually. But I think in this game it's cool because it's like it's almost, I don't know what, every felt like every like 2 to 3 minutes maybe, or we were swapping out in the tank, so then you get to experience all the different parts of the game. So I thought that was a really smart choice. That like the only way to heal is to be in the tank, so it forces you to switch roles in the game. Which I just think was really smart. So I enjoyed this one as well. So I'm excited to see it launch, which is to be announced still, but the demo's live, so that's good.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. What else did you enjoy?
Yeah, so there was another game that we also both played, Crystal Mancers. So
Yes.
this was an interesting one. So there's actually not even a trailer on here. Made by two guys, comes out in 2027. And it is they claim a roguelike block smashing puzzle game. So kind of think Tetris, but you don't need to it's not really like time based where the pieces are falling down. You're kind of placing the pieces on the grid and trying to get them match up. And then when you do, you're damaging a boss that's on the right side of the screen, or an enemy that's on the right side of the screen. And then there's little events that can happen as well, as you get more and more pieces. And then there's a part of this game. What's the other part? Isn't there another part of this game in between? Oh, where you can build new pieces or expand your own Tetris pieces, right? And kind of make
Yeah,
them a
and
little
like upgrade
differently.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's an interesting concept for a game. Um, I I even told the dev there, I'm like, I'm really interested to see like what a full run would kind of feel like, because we didn't get like a lot of encounters and a ton of variety, I would say. Because they have like a certain type of block where if you get a row with that block in that row, it destroys all the other rows that have that symbol. So I would
Mm-hmm.
like to see more stuff like that, like all different types of blocks and effects that you can have on the blocks, so that it gets like really crazy, especially if you're starting to go up against like harder and harder bosses. So yeah, it was an interesting concept, and I think it's worth keeping your eye on. Yeah. So there's no demo or anything like that. I would like to go in and hop in again just to kind of refresh myself, because I was watching you play, but it seemed pretty straightforward with everything in this game. So yeah,
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I think they have a really steep road ahead of them, right? They have no publisher. They were like hoping to get one. They were funny. They were hoping to get one at PAX, which was kind of funny.
so we'd like to
Um,
announce today the
we
first
are
release.
our first published game, but I think there's a lot of potential here. Definitely very early stages, but the fact they were even able to get us a demo at PAX, which was really neat. I think they definitely have the passion there. So
Yeah.
yeah, this one I would keep your eye on if any of that sounds good to you. I would be shocked if this looks at the end looks anything like it does currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that being said, I think the core game loop has potential, right? Like
Yeah.
it is fun. I did have um, I did have fun with it, but it definitely it felt just overall a little rough around the edges, but that's to
Yeah.
be expected. Next game, we actually both played this one too, is Tower Tanks. This had a pretty big booth. I think too long of a demo,
Yeah.
but it was pretty neat. Actually, I was looking. I don't know if it's on. Has
Yeah.
a Steam page?
I don't think it is on Steam.
The
Yeah.
the developer was Warmouth, so I don't know if you could search Steam. Oh wait,
uh,
was there an itch.io? I think I just saw maybe.
yeah. There we
Yes.
go. Okay.
This is like a very rough version of this game, but um, this was did not look like this currently, but obviously this is a early version of this game
From 2 years ago.
from 2 years ago. It's come far away, but basically you are building a tank with people co-op and then fighting random tanks that also come and fight you. And the combat's pretty interesting. Like one person has to be like trolling the tank, other person's shooting guns, yada yada yada, and it's it was like a lot of fun. I do think there's a lot of potential here. Um, I don't know. I don't know when they plan on putting it on Steam because this is like way different from what we played.
Yeah.
The demo should have been shorter, I do think, but I also think that the people that were playing and like got the time to play were really enjoying it, you know, and they had like a fun little kind of competition going on where they would introduce this juggernaut enemy, which was like a giant ship
Yeah.
that was like really hard to beat. But
And the dev would hit a button to make it spawn
Yeah.
in. So you'd think you'd be going against another boss, and he would just hit a button, and like that won't explode, and the juggernaut would come in. So it's a cool way to do it.
But yeah, no, this game. I think this game's got a lot of potential. So
Yeah.
I wonder when they will have. I wonder if you can search.
If they're gonna be on Steam, Tower Tanks.
Steam, Tower
Steam.
Tanks, Warmouth.
There's Tower Tank, TD Reversal. They have a Webflow website.
Whoa.
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 Gameplay trailer. Yeah. I don't know. That's I'm honestly surprised we didn't. I guess we just assumed it was on Steam when we were
Yeah.
playing it, right? Because you just kind of assume that these days. But interesting. Yeah, it was a fun game though. They're gonna be adding like PvP. I think that's gonna be a ton of fun, right? Of like how do different people build their tanks and then go and fight. Like I can just imagine, because you don't know what you're fighting really. And really until like you kind of get closer to each other and you understand how they're gonna be attacking you. So I think it would be hilarious if like, you know, there's going to be people that build like ridiculous tanks that they only do one thing. It's like watching battle bots, right? Where it's just like that all that bot does is it has a boxing glove and it just punches. Like stuff like that. I think people are going to do with this game. But yeah, I think it has a lot of potential as well. It's got like, it reminded me kind of like Sea of Thievesy, where people are running all around the tank trying to fix things and change the course we're going, but then also you want to keep attacking. So yeah, I think it's got a lot of fun. I love games like this. So hopefully they get it on Steam or start getting a little buzz around it. Because yeah, this is just you can even download the build. It looks like on itch.io, but it's a 2-year-old build. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to get it a little bit more.
There's a
active.
if you just search Peter Gomes or Gomez maybe
Peter Gomes, the American preacher and
games maybe projects.
YouTube?
What about pgomezprojects.com? What?
Wait, pgomezprojects.com. Here we go. We're doing it live, folks. Ah.
Tower Tanks. View game. There's that's a little bit better. This is from 1 year ago. This is a more recent build, it looks like.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot closer to what we played.
Yeah.
It is cool to see the progress they've made, though.
Yeah.
So I think there's even more they can do with it. But yeah, it's cool. I almost kind of like, I was thinking about this when playing, but I was like, it'd be kind of interesting if it was like split screen. So it was a little bit more zoomed into each person, right?
Yeah.
But then maybe in the middle you had like the view, this like where the other ship is or what it looks like. Just so I don't know, I feel like that could be interesting as well, because I everyone's kind of doing their own little thing, but I don't know, maybe that wouldn't work. So yeah, that's a good one. Another game I didn't get a chance to play, but I was watching people play it. It was something that just kind of took too long, and the guy who was playing it died, it said thanks for playing the demo, and then he just started playing again. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll
Oh
just
my god.
yeah, I was like, I guess I'll just watch you play. But it's called Coin and Cauldron. I actually have a little stress ball here that I got from them. Um, this was made by one guy, solo dev, that is he looked like he was in like his 50s or like you would never think he was a video game designer, if that makes sense. I don't know why. Like he must have had his son with him, or just I don't know why I'm assuming it's his son, but he was the one like pitching the game essentially. But he was basically like, yeah, this is the dev. Like he's a big RuneScape fan, so that's why it's got like a RuneScape kind of vibe to it. But essentially, you are this kind of sorcerer. You've got different spells that you can use, and you're just exploring this world. There's like dungeons, there's bars you can go to, and it is very rough kind of looking. Obviously, don't think they're done with it yet. But just I don't know why, like this aesthetic. Like I've always liked the way, I don't know, these kind of like I don't even know, like polygonal, like Hurt World. For anyone out there who's ever played Hurt World, it reminds me of that art style for some reason. I've always kind of liked that sort of stuff. So I don't really fully know how the game works with all the mechanics. Like there's a day system and there's time and things like that I'm not too sure. I was just watching someone go through a dungeon and kill enemies. So there's a lock on target system. They kind of made it sound a little soulsy when they were pitching it to me. So yeah, it seems like a cool game, Coin and Cauldron. I don't know how, if it really has legs. We'll see how the development goes. It doesn't even have a release date or release window yet. But I just thought it was really cool because when the guy was like, yeah, he's the developer, I was almost like looking around the guy to be like, where's the developer? And I'm like, oh, it's this guy that looks like my dad. Like, I just, not to judge anyone, like anyone can make games, but it just wasn't what I was expecting at PAX for whatever reason. So it was just cool. And so I'm going to keep my eye on this one. But Coin and Cauldron, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that looks pretty neat. I mean, I love how the goblins look when they run at you. It's hilarious. One game that I watched a decent amount but did not play was where I just had it up. It was Polyfighter. Mm-hmm. It's a roguelike fighting game. But essentially it looked like you're going, it's like just an arcade fighting game, like a Street Fighter where you're playing, and then after each one you're just upgrading your character a little bit. And you're getting the classic three choice thing. I mean, like this looks like it could potentially be a big hit because there's a whole, I think I said it while we were at PAX, because like usually up on the big screen there's like fighting game tournaments happening, and you're just looking at it like, I've never seen this fighting game ever, but clearly it has players because they're playing on the big screen, right? There's like a whole nother world of fighting games out there. And just like beat 'em ups with Absalom, right? Like this could probably introduce a lot of people to fighting games, right? In a different light. And I did like that. And they were busy the whole weekend. I was watching, and people seem to be really loving it. I love the concept. I'm always down with, some roguelike action, but I think that, as someone who has played some fighting games, this is like, I think almost definitely going to be one on my list.
Yeah, I think the reason I would be obviously it's a roguelike, but the other reason I'd be interested in trying this out is because it's single player too. I feel like, a lot of fighting games, there a lot of their communities and esports and all that stuff is like, I assume based on the multiplayer aspect. So the fact that single player means like, okay, I know what fighter I'm going up against. It doesn't need to be, I'm not like matchmaking online and I have no idea, which I don't even know how that would work really with a roguelike. But yeah, I agree. This could be a game that gets me more into fighting games, right? which I'm not really that into. So yeah, cool concept. And this begs the question. I guess maybe this is probably something that has already been happening, but this is clearly, you can see the Slay the Spire influences here.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
other genres of games are gonna slay the spire themselves, right? We got fighting. Like, is there gonna be, where's the PGA Tour roguelike, right? Or what? I don't know. Whatever. The race, is there racing? I don't know.
probably.
Mario Kart roguelike. Yeah. There probably is. But yeah, cool game for
So
sure.
I hope this one is like a big success because you know, like obviously I want the indie game to be successful, but like they're with fighting games, sometimes you want to play the IPs, right? Like I think of
Yeah.
Injustice, like yeah, I want to play a Swamp Thing and beat up, the Joker, right? And
Yeah.
they always had like the arcade single player mode that like I loved in Injustice, but like I think I would enjoy the roguelike style more. So if
Yeah.
this is like a huge hit, like I imagine some of those bigger studios would be like, we could do that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So,
That's true. Yeah. So we will see. I also think it has a good name. Some of these games
mhm.
have like, I feel like sometimes the name maybe holds them back a little bit. So I think this one's good. Polyfighter. Um, Another game I did play is this game, which this was its first public demo. You can also get the demo on Steam, but it's called D6. I was telling you a little bit about this. So that's DEESICKS as one word. Um, it is so you kind of start out with these like dice rolls on this. I don't even know what you would call it, but you're using these dice rolls to essentially decide how powerful your attacks are, and you can assign whatever it rolls on, like a 6. You'll be like, oh, I have this attack. I'm going to put the 6 on the attack damage of that attack specifically. But then you might have another one where you're like, oh, but I really wish I could improve the cooldown. Let me actually put the 6 that I just rolled on the cooldown slot in that attack so it happens more often. So you're using dice rolls to essentially decide how effective your attacks are and how often they happen. And then when you actually get into the little arena, it's kind of like pivoted around this circle. So you have the enemy on the other side, and you are kind of on this track around a circle, and you're kind of, it's bullet helly, I guess, but you're kind of like just trying to dodge these enemy attacks, and you can jump. And then you're just auto shooting like like Vampire Survivors or like a Survivor like. So you're really just trying to survive in these fights at the end of the day, and it just kind of attacks for you. But it's a fun kind of like bite-sized sort of game. Like I like the dice system. I think it's interesting that how effective your skills are. You can choose to make a skill better versus like just, oh, I keep getting like garlic in Vampire Survivors. I guess I'll just keep leveling that up, kind of thing. So yeah, I think this game has, it probably doesn't have like mass appeal, but I think it would be really cool on mobile. I love to play it, and I think it's a fun little, yeah, just like a bite-sized kind of game. It almost reminded me of like, not from gameplay standpoint, but what was that? The slot machine game that we played that was like a bite-size. What was that called? Slot
Uh,
dungeon or something?
skulls and daggers,
Yeah,
slots and daggers.
Slots and Daggers. Yeah, it kind of gave
Yeah.
me that vibe where I could maybe get through all of it and then,
Hmm.
maybe come back if they have an update kind of thing. But yeah, it's a cool concept for a game for sure.
Yeah, it looked neat. I mean, it looks wild to be honest. This one is funny, like you mentioned, like Polyfighter had a good name. This one, I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on with the name, but I guess it does kind of like once you get a handle on that name, you're like, that kind of sticks with you.
Yeah,
So
I guess
it
it's because like you roll a d6
Oh, yeah,
So it's
okay.
like spelled out D6, and I don't know. Like when I first saw it, I thought it would have something to do with like sickness or something. I don't know why. Um, but yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
that makes a lot more sense now. Okay,
yeah.
cool, cool. Um, I have one other game that I just watched. Because I played some other games, but like nothing really stood out. But like I watched a few that really stood out. Order Automatica was it looked like a auto battler. Just really like the graphic style here. So funny. This
Ooh, yeah.
has like it like has like this really cool like demonic thing going on, but like the banner for this looks so much different than what I was looking at the like I think this is must be an older build, right? But
Mm.
it just looks cool. Like you roll dice and like add them to uh your units to give them like upgrades. I thought that this one had like a lot of potential because it just like auto battlers are fun just in general. And what holds back some of them, I think, for me is like how they look. And I felt like this one like looked really clean and I could just understand it a lot
Mm.
better. And I like that. And this is I think this is it barely looked like this when I was
Oh,
watching. But
interesting.
I mean like it did look like it, but it had usually it would have like an actual background behind it, like you were in like a
Mm.
courtyard or something like that. But it seemed like a really cool game. I wish listed it, and yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes because every once in a while auto battlers just like kind of hits a spot, right? You're just
Yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
I don't have to like pay attention too much, just have to pay attention like every minute or so, which is
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But yeah,
Nice. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I wonder. This one
oh,
kind of
that
has
looks
a little,
more like it.
yeah, has
Yeah,
a little
yeah, yeah.
background behind there. Yeah, I'll have to check this one out. They do have a demo, but yeah, it sounds cool. I'm also that's how I am with like auto battlers now. Which auto battlers, that was never a genre I was ever into.
Yeah.
And then now, like Nine Kings and like stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Um,
Nine Kings. What a
so
hilarious game. That's
yeah.
had a lot of updates.
Hmm.
I think maybe all Nine Kings are out now.
Yeah, I
Which
went back like a month or two ago and tried out a new one. Um, yeah, good to see them keep publishing. But I have like two more or three. I have three more games. You said
yeah.
that was this is your last one.
Yeah, yeah, roll through it.
Um, so this one I didn't get a chance to play. I was also telling you about. I actually couldn't find it the next day. I probably just missed it, but it was just a really cool concept. It's called Oris, and of course, there's no
Oh yeah, you
gameplay
were telling
here.
me about this.
Yeah, so this is a 2D puzzle platformer, but what's interesting about this is that the main character is blind, so the world only exists when you like make noise. So it'll kind of light up around you as you walk. So it's very dark, and then there's enemies and NPCs and things like that that kind of will, they're making noise as well, so you can kind of see them a little bit as you kind of progress. But I just thought it was a really interesting concept for a game where essentially you either need to like move or use something in order to see where you're going. Like there's something I was watching. I don't know exactly what it was, but they were like throwing it so that they could see where they were going because it would make noise. So yeah, you're using echolocation to uncover paths, avoid enemies, defeat bosses, and then obviously navigate the levels. And it just seemed like a really interesting concept. They only had one, laptop or computer that was playing it, so that's why I didn't get a chance to play. There was just a line for it, but it was a really cool concept and definitely something I want to keep my eye on. It's supposed to come out in December this year, so hopefully they can hit that date.
I got a deal for you. This game looks awesome, first of all.
Yeah,
And it reminds me of another game called Celeste.
yeah.
You're not allowed to play this game until you play Celeste.
Do I have to beat Celeste?
No, you don't have to beat it, but I
Okay.
think you'll want to beat Celeste.
Okay. All right. Well, I will deal then. I will play
Yeah.
Celeste. I own it. I don't know why I haven't played it yet. Um, but I will. I will.
Baby Juice will love watching that one. A lot of
Yeah.
fun
Okay.
colors, stuff like that.
Cool. Cool. All right. Good. Yeah, I will do that then. Um, and let's see what. Oh, the other game. We both checked this one out. I know it's probably a little more up my alley. But it's the. Oh God, Is it on Steam? Yeah, this one, Gallipoli.
Yeah.
It's So this isn't usually my kind of game. It's a very much like it's a World War I version of like Squad or Hell Let Loose, Battlefieldy kind of thing. It's from Black Mill Games. But what I thought was really cool about this, they've made other games like this is like also a simulation kind of game where it's super historically accurate. They were the CEO of the company was talking to me about everything they did to make sure it was historically accurate. They have a historian on their team to make sure. They even went to um, this location. I forget exactly where he said it was, but they like test fired guns that were going to be in the game. The What's cool is like the reloading system in this is procedural, so you never know if it's going to be a good reload, a bad one. There's all these different variations that can happen. And then also based on what's happening around you will affect what your reload is or how you throw your grenades, things like that. They try to kind of make it as realistic as they could. Um, and They also they had a whole orchestra that played music from that time with the instruments of that time. Everything about this game is kind of dedicated to making sure it's as historically accurate as a game can be for these kind of fights. So, I'm not a historian or like a history buff or anything. I'm terrible with history. So he was like, "Are you familiar with this battle?" And I'm like, "Nope, I've never heard of it," which is terrible, probably. But it was fun. I honestly had the most fun with like the class that has like a bunch of knives and grenades, and then you just kind of like charge at people, and then you can just keep tossing grenades in. I had fun with that. It is a pretty unforgiving kind of game, but definitely not as like unforgiving as a game like Squad or Hell Let Loose, where like you should be like talking to your teammates and stuff. Like they kind of tried to make an in between Battlefield and a game like that. So anyone out there that's interested in these kind of games. This one has a bunch of love put into it. I could see it being a lot of fun if you're into these kind of games. So check it out. Gallipoli. It's Gallipoli on Steam. And yeah, so that is one that we tried out. Any thoughts on Gallipoli? I know you played a bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not my kind of genre, but it was. They had a really impressive booth. They were all really nice, and yeah, clearly the love was putting into this. I mean, like
Yeah.
maybe too much. That's like a lot of work, but
Yeah.
they seem to be very happy with it. So,
And maybe
um,
the biggest banner we've ever seen
yeah,
at
yeah,
PAX.
it
We
was
helped them put
crazy.
it up.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It was huge. Definitely costed. They're definitely investing in this. But again, they've had other games based on other battles that have happened. So they must have been doing well. They must have a niche audience, like a cult following kind of thing. But yeah, very, very cool to see all the love and dedication put into it. And then the last game that I was gonna mention this other game, Kiln from Double Fine, but I didn't
Mm.
really get to watch a lot of it, so won't get into it. But check it. You guys might already know about Kiln. It kind of has it's from Double Fine, so they have a good amount of marketing they do. But this is another one that I got a chance to play on Sunday. It's already out on Steam. It's called Toroban. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's another puzzle game, but what's interesting about this one is, um, you kind of have this little small area where your character is, and it's duplicated, it's cloned. So you're controlling however much you're choosing to see because you can zoom in and out. So you could zoom like way out, and you can control like 1,000 of these dudes at once. And it's kind of this little like maze sort of puzzle where every time you're moving your character, all the other characters moving at the same time, but then you start to realize, oh, since you're not restricted to like a single character, you can you can figure out the puzzles by thinking of how the other characters will move, and then completing the puzzles that way. And it kind of works in a sense of like like Super Mario, where you have the world map and then you're hopping into each world. Similar in this game, where like you have a a little area you're running through, and then you're hopping into each of these puzzles. So they are looking to release multiplayer co-op soon, and I was really interested. I was like, how is that going to work? Because I'm thinking like both characters are in the puzzle, but if every character is mirrored off of you, what's going to happen when both are in there? And the guy told me to go. He's like, oh, those two people are playing it, so go check it out. And it seems like it's just two people in that world choosing puzzle area. So two people, like someone can do one puzzle while someone does another, and if you complete the puzzle, it unlocks the next area. So I don't know, it was just a cool little puzzle game. I would really like this if it was on mobile, to be honest. I like these kind of puzzles generally, where it reminds me of like Zelda, right? Where you're like, you got to push something that way, like the old school Zelda, push it that way, and then you unlock something. Those sort of puzzles. So yeah, Toroban, Toroban. It's like an infinitely wrapping puzzle game. Came out in December. Very positive reviews. So if you're looking for a nice little bite-sized puzzle game, it is available on Steam already. So there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think I saw the booth for this one, but I didn't catch much of it. I did hear you talking about it with Dan, but
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Always down for a good puzzle.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah. So there was more stuff we played too, right? But just
there was
so much to cover.
Yeah, and
Those are the
like
highlights.
the highlights for sure. Another good year, and
Yeah.
here's to many more. Here's to many,
Many
more.
more. Many, many men.
But next next week, Raccoin, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. We have some questions, which can be submitted in the Fresh Juice Discord, available for anybody to join. First one comes from Capola, who asked, which indie games you've purchased outside of reviews here was the biggest disappointment, and what was the biggest surprise?
So outside of the games we've reviewed, let's see. That is a tough one. Probably the biggest disappointment. What is this game called? Death. Is this hold on, this might not even be indie. No, Arcane Studios, is that technically indie? I don't know. I was gonna say this game Deathloop, which sounded really cool. It's like a roguelike FPS that came out a few years ago. I thought it was a really cool concept, but it ended up just being, it just like wasn't super challenging, and it just wasn't what I was looking for. It didn't go far enough into the roguelite side of things. So that's probably one, if that's considered indie. I'll keep thinking of any other ones, but anything come to your mind?
Rogue Genesia is one that I got, which is, it's like a third person kind of it's Vampire Survivors. Like, it's got like 3,000 very positive reviews. So I was like, this would be like cool. And I'm looking at it now. I put 8 minutes into it. I did not like it at all. But yeah, that one is one that I was disappointed by. I'm trying to look at what surprised me.
Yeah, what surprised me? That's
I mean,
a tough
Slots and
one.
Daggers we didn't review.
True.
And
That
was
one
like,
surprised me definitely with how much I liked it.
Holder of Place is a game that I really, really enjoyed.
What kind of game is that one?
It's like a card. It's a card game. It's like an auto battler roguelike game.
Okay.
Not like, yeah, it is a card game, I guess, but it was very addicting, and I enjoyed it. And it was like a weird kind of thing, like weird kind of like vibe that I didn't think I would like. Actually, I was like,
Okay.
but it's had like very positive reviews. I'm like, I'll try it out, and then I was like, oh, I get it. This is really cool.
Oh, yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. Um, anything that surprised me outside of the pocket? There's definitely games on here I'm looking and I played them, but like, and I'm like, yeah, they're good, but they didn't really fully surprise me. I guess. Oh man. Um, there's a lot on here. Maybe let's see, an older game. I was just looking at one. There's a game called Xera Survival. It's like of course, a survival game. Xera, which I believe the game is still around. It was like years ago I had played it, but I pop in every now and then because it's like a survival game, but it's kind of got like MMO stuff kind of going on where you can like level up your character and stuff. I thought it was a really cool concept, and it was actually a like some moderator in some stream I used to watch made the game. Like it's a solo dev.
Oh,
So like that's how I found out about it. I think I chatted with him probably on Discord, and then honestly, when I first played the game, I was like, "This is gonna be like I don't think it's gonna last that long." But they still push out updates. So if you're looking for like a different kind of survival game, I think it's got like robot type enemies and stuff like that. I don't know how many people actually play it, but Xera Survival, I've got like 10 hours in the game. It does have mixed reviews on Steam, but it is free to play, so I feel like it's worth checking out. So there we go. I guess that's one that kind of surprised me because it stuck around for as long as it did.
I
But
think it counts. I think
yeah,
it counts.
yeah.
And we have one other question from Kmore who asks, which indie game genre seems overdone lately, and which genre isn't done enough?
Deck builders, you got to stop them. Stop them.
No, I'll take them all.
Yeah, no,
even the bad ones.
yeah. No, I think they're in a really good spot right now. Like there's a good amount of variety with deck builders. Which one is overdone lately? Probably Survivor likes, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
That's just you occasionally get one that's like a little surprising, but most of them are like too similar to each other. What
Feels like
genre?
you could just make it in Game Maker, right? Like,
Yeah,
pretty
just use
easy. It's
Claude.
probably easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could probably just pump. I'm sure a lot of people are just
yeah,
pumping them out like that.
yeah. Which genre isn't done enough? Oh, I mean, I would say like FPS. That's like not a common thing in the indie genre. I'd say like anything
Yeah.
first person games. Like I'm like Shroom and Gloom is a deck builder, but it is first person. You just
Hmm.
don't see a lot of first person games. I'd say in the indie space. It's not like super specific. That's just
I think
yeah,
more. I think more platformers would be nice. I think adventure games
yeah,
in like whatever shape or form. I also think just like competitive PvP could probably use some more indie entries because I feel like the AAA competitive PvP ends up being kind of samey, and I
yeah,
think the indie sphere could bring something fresh to the competitive mindset. So
yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think it's probably a reason we don't see a lot of competitive PvP is because then that means they got to buy server. It's like additional
hmm
costs, right? But like there are
yeah,
definitely games we've played where like this would be cool to go up against. So I mean, we just talked about like tower tanks,
yeah.
being able to go up against someone there. So yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, yeah. Let us know what you think is overdone and which genre isn't done enough in the Discord because I'm curious.
I yeah,
Yeah.
I would love. I would love that. Just do that for us. That would be awesome. But another good app, another good PAX. Back to the grind for us. But we are going to go down to the rec room where we recommend something that perhaps isn't an indie game. And I'm looking at the show notes now. We're recommending the same thing.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Bukowski's Tavern in Boston, Massachusetts. I had reached out to my coworker in Boston, asked for some good spots to hit up because on the Saturday we usually kind of go out and do some stuff. And he recommended this bar. He says like one of the best beer bars and like just good hangs in the city. And it is. It's based on, it's like Charles Bukowski, who's was this crazy poet, and it kind of had that vibe in there, just a good hang. You can get some hot dogs, you can get some beer. They had a spinning wheel where you can say, I don't know what I want, let the wheel decide. And we both did that. I got a PBR, and you got a double IPA.
Double IPA,
yeah. But good spot. It was a good hang. I would have hanged there longer, honestly.
Same.
But
yeah, I think. We're just really cool spot. They say they're not a dive bar or whatever, but it's got those vibes. And the hot dogs were great.
Yeah.
I think it's almost like when we ask people for recommendations. Sorry, I just dropped a stress ball. Like, those are the types of places we're looking for.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. So shout out to Bukowski's Tavern. Bukowski's Tavern. It's a cool place. And it's like right next to like this like bowling thing. So we didn't go there, but that's it could be a little, the start of something fun. Going there, going bowling, seeing where you end up.
Amen. Yeah. When you said shout out Bukowski Tavern, I thought you were going to say shout out to my coworker, and then you just said Bukowski, and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, shout out to your coworker for recommending it too. I feel like every year is it the same coworker that recommends places? Or?
No, he's new. He's relatively new, but I usually hit up. Since we've been going to PAX, I've had 3 coworkers up there, so like
nice.
I've gotten 3 different kind of perspectives from them. I would say current coworkers, dishing out the best stuff though.
Yeah.
But
good.
Yeah. Well,
there we go.
It's been another good one. You can find me on all socials, mostly just Blue Sky at Fresh Buds Pod. I have another podcast called Fresh and Buds. This week on my YouTube, I'm going to stream a shapeshifter cube draft alongside like 7 other creators, hosted by another channel called The Table Pit. William runs that channel. He'll be on the podcast this week. We're going to promote it. If you don't know what a cube draft is, basically it's like any card game you usually can draft, except you can a cube is like a curated draft that you created. So we're going to do that, and it's a wacky one, and I was looking through the card list, and I'm very confused, but William's going to help me on the podcast this week.
When's the stream?
Friday night.
All right, folks.
Friday night.
That's where I'll be.
7 p.m. Friday night. Santa's coming. And then you can find us on all socials at Fresh Juice Pod. Where can people find you?
Find me at Matty Gorm, Gorm, on all the socials. I've actually got a few things I got to play that are not out yet that I'll be putting some videos up for. So be on the lookout for that. One of them is a survival game, of course, that is like primitive. There's no technology, things like that. I think it's made by one person, so I'm checking that out this week. So be on the lookout for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay juicy. Bukaki.